How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to talk about investing at the bottom of the market and how I do it. Today I have a few interesting insights for you guys that you might be able to take and kind of give you some realization about the market conditions right now. The market bottom is likely going to hit before anything starts to turn up better. For example, lower transmission rates. So if you wait for this, I feel like it's a little bit too late. Historically, things bottom out maybe a month to 3 months out. So I think the bottom might come very soon. Considering the rate at which the market decreased, it feels like it's gonna happen sooner rather than later. It might have happened already. So this is why I do a tiered level of investing, because I don't know when the bottom is gonna be in. So I just try to invest every single 10% that the market is down. I invest a little bit more and a little bit more. Now, I think some thoughts that might go through a lot of people's head is that when you're investing in this market, the sky looks like it's gonna fall down. It looks like the market is coming to an end. This is the end. And I think the thing you have to realize to make yourself feel better is that if it does happen, it means the United States dollar is gonna go to zero. And you probably have a lot other things to worry about, because if the stock market goes to zero, on the streets, there's gonna be rioting. People are gonna try to invade your home. They're gonna try to take your food. It's just gonna be just pandemonium out in the streets. So if you think this is gonna happen, in other words, if you are too afraid to invest in the market right now, in essence, what you're thinking is that this is the end, which means you probably should be prepared a lot more in other ways, such as buying more protection for yourself. You're gonna need maybe a year or two worth of food. Probably want to hold some real, actual physical gold somewhere in a secure location. In a sense, you are not investing in the market nor preparing for end of days even. So which one are you, right? So if you're not preparing for end of days, if you don't think it's gonna get that crazy, you're in a way kind of voting for that the market is gonna come back up eventually. Is it gonna come back within 2 years? Is it gonna come back within 1 year? Or maybe 10 years or something? Well, the way I think about this is I need to keep enough cash around so that I can survive this downturn maybe for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, just so that I can keep all those securities in there and let those appreciate. One thing that you wanna think about is for a certain company, if let's say they don't make money for a year, they still have a lot of capital, they have a lot of patents, something that was of value that they can actually sell. If it's a company that doesn't have a lot of debt, if they have a lot of cash pile just waiting to be tapped into, that at the end of a really long downturn, they're still worth something, maybe 1 year from now, they're still gonna make a profit, then yes, you can probably still invest in it, and then this is just a really cheap opportunity to buy all these stocks. Now, I want to talk a little bit about investing in cruise lines and airlines, because these are the hardest hit stocks out on the market right now. The thing that worries me is that we are going into this new phase of an economy maybe, right? If this situation prolongs itself, if it mutates, whatever, right? If it turns us into self-isolating type of people where we don't go out, we're really scared of coming into contact with anyone, we're really scared of ever taking an airplane, ever going on a cruise ship, because this is an ongoing thing that keeps on coming back again and again, then you might have an argument saying that, well, these companies, they're going away for good. This might be a very core shift in the whole economy. So if you put money in there and the economy completely shifts away from it, right? No one cares about something that's out of fashion. Maybe these cruise lines, they can shift how they conduct business. Maybe they can change into some sort of hospital ship or something, instead of a cruise ship where people do it for pleasure. You do it for, maybe they can sell the room and have people live on it or something. I don't know, whichever way, right? They can pivot somehow and still possibly make money. Airlines, maybe they have to sell tickets for a lot more expensive. Maybe going forward in the future, if you go traveling to any other country, maybe they have to quarantine you for maybe 2 or 3 weeks before they'll let you go to another country. Maybe you want to go to Rome. Okay, you fly there, you stay locked up somewhere for 3 weeks, and then they're gonna let you, see the sights. You see the sights, and then you come back home, and then yet you're going to get locked up for another 3 weeks before you can go home again. So if this is the case, you can imagine a lot of people is not really gonna want to travel anymore because of the hassle. So how am I investing right now? Previously, I made a video where I said I'm holding on to about 60% cash. Since then, I kind of reevaluated everything. Yes, I held on to some energy ETFs. In the short term, it did not do well, okay? So some people might look at this and go, oh, you're stupid because you bought into it and it went down. I don't know if it's gonna go up or down, but my whole theory with this is that I'm gonna make money in the long term, probably in the 1 year or 2 year term. I'm not gonna be able to guess this right? Some people like to say, oh, it's gonna go to 1700, 1500 or something, and they have a number in mind. I personally don't have a number in mind, but a good strategy for me personally, and I'm doing this right now, that's why you see my cash holdings going lower and lower. I said it was 60% before. Now it's around 40% because I invested a little bit more and a little bit more every single week. I'd say every single 10% that it goes down, I invest another 10%. This is roughly a strategy of mine. So in order for me personally to get this 40% cash, I actually had it in a lot of different accounts and I had to do some transfers. I transferred some money away from my high yield savings account because I estimate this is gonna go to 0 or 0.1%. So I'm like, if I'm not gonna get money in it anywhere, I better put my money in a brokerage account. I need it sitting there because it takes a few days to transfer my money in. I need it sitting there so that I can pull the trigger when I think it's the right time. I am not doing daily trading, but I want to do it at a moment's notice when I feel like it's the right time. So let me just give you a concrete example of where I think I'm gonna be invested. Right now it's minus 30%, right? And I am about 60% invested in. If it goes down to minus 40%, it's gonna be 70%. Minus 50%, I'm gonna be 80% in. Minus 60%, 90% in. If the S&P 500 is minus 70%, this is crazy stuff, right? If it's 70%, I'm gonna be 100% in at that point. I might vary my strategy slightly from this, but this is my current strategy. And after I'm 100% in, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I put all my capital in already. I still have about 50K in cash. I say 50K because my burn rate is around $1,350 times 36 months, which is about 3 years. It's $48,600 in cash. And I want this sitting around because this is my SHTF fund, just in case YouTube is not gonna pay me. Even though some of my videos are not being monetized, I see the money drying up a little bit. It's starting to slow. I see it, contract about 10%. So if my YouTube revenue goes to 0 or goes, something very, very low, I still want this $48,000 just sitting around just so that it can pay my bills. A note about if I do not call the absolute bottom of this S&P 500 or the entire market perfectly, right? If it never hits 70%, it's okay. I've lived through other recessions where it dips a little bit. I had this really pessimistic target in mind. My idea was I'm not gonna invest in it at all until it hits that point. And sometimes that point that I had on my mind, it never hits it. So then I never take advantage of that short dip. So this time I'm shifting my strategy a little bit. So I'm gonna invest in the stock market a little bit every single milestone, let's say, that it makes when it goes lower and lower. Now, personally, I don't think we have seen the worst of it. I think we need to wait a few weeks because this spreading of the situation, I think it's not under control yet. And people are just way more optimistic than I think they should be. Every single time the government does something, right? The Federal Reserve does some sort of stimulus. They're like, oh, we're gonna give away checks, right? Every single time bad things happen for a few days, they introduce something. They say something on the news and then the stock market comes up, wildly. It might go up for 1 day or 2 days and then it goes down some more. If you look at the Johns Hopkins data, we have 415,000 confirmed cases worldwide with a daily increase of 41,000 confirmed infections. Now, this is the most it has ever been. And yet, if you look at the S&P 500, it popped 9.38%. I don't think I've ever seen it go high in my lifetime, 9.38% in one single day. This is not normal. They're doing some quantitative easing. The Federal Reserve is probably buying all kinds of stock indiscriminately just to prop up the market. So I think just because you see the stock market doing a positive swing, this is not the end of it. I think this is manipulated. If you're aware that the Federal Reserve is buying a lot of stock, then it's not manipulation. It's kind of expected that it's going to go up a little bit. But the cycle basically goes like this. There's a health scare. There is more infection, there's more spreading, there's more restrictions going on, people get scared. The market then goes down for a few days, and then the government goes, okay, what else can we do to assure people that this is all fine and stuff? The market goes up for a day or two, and then more bad news comes out, and then it goes down some more. So right now, I still think it's gonna go down some more. I mean, minus 30% is not that crazy right now. I don't think there's blood on the streets yet. There's a few splatters, but what I think this is gonna happen in the end is that there's gonna be a complete pool of red. It's like completely covered. You can't see one spot where there's like the ground anywhere. So that is when I think people are really scared, and it might then be time to invest a lot more. So from this point on, I anticipate there's going to be many weeks of bad news still coming, unless there's some vaccine that some drug company miraculously find, then we're going to see a complete and quick recovery. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to take a while. And even with all these measures that the government is being put in place, yes, it helps a little bit. But eventually, I think more health bad news is going to come up, more people are going to die, and it's still heading downwards. I don't see it recovering for now. Because of this, I am slowly buying into the market. When you buy into a falling market, it hurts a lot, and especially when you're not trying to time it perfectly, when you're not like waiting for it to go minus 70% and then go, okay, I'm so smart, I'm going to put in 100% of my cash, because you're not invested for this whole downturn, then you're like a genius, right? But I don't think I can predict something like this, so this is why I am kind of investing in the tiers, knowing that every single tier that I invest into, if I wait a few weeks, it is gonna drop a little bit. I'm gonna be losing huge amounts of money, and currently I already am. It doesn't feel good, but I have my stash of cash that will keep me alive. It'll keep food on the table. It'll keep the lights on and stuff. I'm gonna be comfortable. I'm gonna be warm. So this is how you invest, basically. You take the money that you can invest, and you keep the money that you need in order to live, so that the money that you invest will have time to grow. Thanks for watching this video, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed these various insights. I've been reading the news a lot, all the time, just keeping up with everything. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give me a like, comment down below, let me know what you guys think. And as always, push that subscribe button and ring that bell icon. Thanks for watching.